Good morning, good morning. I am working as it is 10:04, and I also just went and finally responded to a ton of comments on my past vlogs. So I apologize to anyone who it has taken me far too long to respond to you.
Get ready, because this is year 6 of daily vlogging.
Anyway, yes, I'm working from 10 until 2, so yeah. Okay, I'm done with work. Now I'm going to pick up my book from, of course today is like a hot day. I don't know why, but it is. I'm going to pick up the book that I let my friend Aaron borrow, and I'm picking it up from his work. All right, so I got my book, and then I also stopped by the grocery store real quick because I want to make these cookies, and they're raspberry lemon cookies. So I needed to grab a lemon juice, and some more raspberries. So I picked those up, and now I'm grabbing some gas, and then I'm heading back home. I ate lunch before I left. Granted, it wasn't a very big lunch. It was just 2 smallish slices of pizza, and then some baby carrots and ranch. But I'm like still hungry, and I feel like I'm hungrier than I was before I left. It was so great to talk to everyone. Oh my gosh. That was so great. We had like 10 or 12 of us that were on there, which is a lot considering. I also did find out that the one person who I have not been able to reach, and I'm really glad I said something, who I said yesterday was Anderson. One of the other classmates who also lives in Vancouver, did hear through the grapevine that he is okay, that he did deal with some mental health issues, but that as far as she knows, he is back home with his mom and is getting help. So I'm really happy to hear that, and just really happy to hear that he is okay. So maybe I will sneak through his Facebook friends, and if I can find his mom, I would love to send a message to her and just to say, hey, like, I know he doesn't really use Facebook. I know his Instagram isn't there anymore. I just was wondering if you could pass on a message for me, just that I say hi and I hope he's doing well and all that stuff. So maybe I will do some snooping just so I can get that message through, and to say like, hey, we all like had like a 2-year sort of reunion, but we will definitely get together in the future. So would love to, we all thought about you, we're thinking about you, and all that. I am happy to report that those lemon raspberry cookies are so good. And they're so like light, and they're refreshing. So, I mean, in a good way. I mean, in a way that's good, but in a way it's also bad, because I've had like 4. But I'm gonna bring some to church tomorrow, and then be selfish and keep the rest for myself, because they're really good. Now it is pouring out of nowhere. The last batch of... Did I set the timer for the cookies? No, I did not. So I'm gonna check on them. Anyway, it's like pouring out of nowhere. But I'm gonna finish up these cookies and then go to bed. So what I'm gonna talk about in this clip is probably best suited for audiences maybe 13 or 14 above. No major detail is gonna be gone into, but I just wanted to give that warning. So if you're a little wary, I would just skip this clip, no problem. But I just received a text message from someone who I didn't know that they even still had my number. And it is the person who essayed me in 7th grade, and essay stands for sexual assault. And I just wanted to briefly talk about just the emotions that are happening right now. Because it was the content of the text message is good. In fact, it's actually a really nice message of just saying like, hey, like, I know we haven't spoken in years, but just congratulations on everything that's going on. And this person has no way of knowing the depth of what happened affected me, because at the time I had no idea that I identified as asexual. I had no idea I identified as aromantic, and I didn't know that I was autistic. So now I know why that experience affected me more than it would have affected maybe other women, because it could have been so much worse than it was. And that's not me comparing, that's me saying a fact. It could have been so much worse than it was, and I'm grateful that it wasn't. But the fact of the matter is because of the way that my brain is wired, but I didn't know that at the time, I spent a good few years kind of not beating myself up for it, but just being angry with myself because I thought I was overreacting, and I was like, why does this still affect me as much as it does? And now I know that, so that's a lot easier for me to push to the side and just be like, no, you know the reason why. That's why you don't downplay it. It's important to recognize why. But it's just such something I didn't want to deal with, even though it's just a nice text message. And it's been 7-8 years. But had that experience not happened, my Lyme disease wouldn't have flared up when it did, because it is because of that emotional trauma that the Lyme disease flared up. And I look back and I realize too, and writing the feature about my life, which sounds so pretentious, made me realize that experience was when I stopped being a kid. That was basically when I, as they call it, like, gained, not consciousness, but like you realize that you are like a person. That was the moment that caused me to go from just being the mom friend to basically feeling like I was an adult. And nothing was ever the same after that. So to get this message and just have all that brought back up is very confusing. And I feel this is an important thing to talk about, because I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of what happened. I think I've moved past that part of me that was, and who was angry with myself. But I feel it's important for me to talk about on here. So if you did feel comfortable enough to watch this clip, thank you. But I know if those who didn't aren't seeing this, but I completely understand too if not. Just wow. We just texted my friends Sam and Kelly, and we've been friends since middle school, and they were actually there, not there in the moment, but they were having a sleepover at Sam's house the night that it happened, and I called them and asked if I could come over, and they said yes. And so they were extremely supportive and protective and just there for me. And so I felt the need to text them and just be like, hey, guess what just happened after 7 years? And both of them responded immediately. And we don't even really talk all that much because we've kind of gone our separate ways, but just knowing that they are still there means so much to me. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna upload this and go to bed. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. All my social media is in the description. Love you all.